Hello, and welcome to our awesome adventures. Today I'm going to be reading a book I wrote. It is called Count Crybaby. This book is now available in Kindle, and soon it will be available in paperback format also. All right, here we go. Count Crybaby by Jamie Skeie. This book is dedicated to my sons. There once was a crybaby. This crybaby boy thought he had a reason to cry. He was a boy who hadn't had ice cream for 1,000 years. His family called him Count Crybaby. He kind of liked the name, but he sometimes cried about it. Count Crybaby looked into the mirror and spoke out loud. You'd cry too if you hadn't had chocolate for 1,000 years. I just want an ice cream cone. I'm tired of sucking blood. Count Crybaby felt sad. He was different than other boys and girls. The other children got to eat ice cream and cake on their birthdays. Count Crybaby was 999 years old. He'd gone almost 1,000 birthdays and never had sweets. Count Crybaby was the only crybaby vampire boy who had been on a blood-only diet for the last 1,000 years. He just wanted to be a normal boy. He did enjoy his superhero talents that came along with being a boy who was a 1,000-year-old vampire. Nobody ever expected this boy to be so strong, fast, and equipped to take down creatures of any size and strength. Count Crybaby was always a good vampire. He had saved thousands of people's lives over the last 1,000 years of being a boy. Count Crybaby liked being a superhero boy, but sometimes he just felt sad. Count Crybaby's dad was a good-looking man. He was 1,030 years old, and he was the Duke of Wessex. Dad, his son, and African gray Parrot turned into vampires on the same day, so they had never aged. Orion was known as the Countess of Wessex. Dad's son was Count Crybaby, the Count of Wessex. They had royal blood in their family. The Duke of Wessex always wore a cape, which almost gave away his true identity. It was a tradition for a vampire to wear a cape on his birthday. The Duke and Count looked like two guys you didn't want to mess with when they wore their capes. Dad walked to Count Crybaby and said, "What do you want for your birthday, son?" "Maybe a cookie or candy bar?" Count Crybaby exclaimed. "I'm tired of sucking blood. I just want something normal. Maybe a pretzel sandwich?" Count Crybaby thought about it and said, "What do I really want for my 1,000th birthday?" He thought about it for a New York second. He could have anything he wanted. Maybe another supercar. Maybe a bigger slide for their pool. The vampire boy started opening up and talking to his dad as he said, "Maybe a pool party that starts at midnight?" Count Crybaby couldn't go in the sunlight. He was a boy who had to play outside after midnight. He also went to night school. His life was different than most boys and girls who looked like his age. Count Crybaby was having his 1,000th birthday party, so it had to be perfect. Count Crybaby looked like he was between 10 to 15 years old, maybe even 16. It was really quite hard to tell. He was a handsome young boy. He liked to have his hair done just right and spent a lot of time contemplating things in the mirror. That's what vampires are supposed to do, he always thought. Count Crybaby ate blood packets for every meal. His family operated a large manufacturing company that distributed the blood packets worldwide. The general public believed these blood packets were for gardening, but They were really a food distribution company for the most famous vampires in the world. They also specialized in selling bat poop for fertilization. There were millions of bats in the caves behind their family mansions, so the family made a fortune off poop. Count Crybaby always asked his dad about manufacturing cake and ice cream made with blood, so all the vampire boys and girls in the world could enjoy one of their finer things in life. His dad didn't think it sounded like gardening products. He always told his son they sold poop, not ice cream. Count Crybaby dreams for everyone like him to one day enjoy his yummy, bloody desserts. Suddenly, Count Crybaby burst out loud, "I know what I want! I want ice cream and cake!" This little boy knew what he wanted. After he spoke these words, tears gently rolled down his cheeks. Dad hugged his son. Dad was always fearless and strong, but he feared his son's birthday. All these birthdays had come and gone, and he couldn't be the dad that he wanted to be. 1,000 birthdays come and gone, and Dad felt like he'd never really been able to be there for his son on his birthday. A tear slipped out of Dad's left eye and dropped to the floor. It made a noise as it hit the ground. Count Crybaby had never seen his dad cry. Must be a leak in the ceiling, son. We'd better fix it," Dad quickly said to cover up his teardrop. Count Crybaby smiled and he stopped crying, knowing his dad really loved him. He spoke softly to his dad. "I love you, Dad. I'm going to go to bed now." "Sweet dreams, son. I'll see you in the evening. I'm really excited for your 1,000th birthday." "Have a good day's sleep," the Duke said to his son. As his son was sleeping the day away, Dad went to his secret laboratory. This laboratory was where he had created different dangerous concoctions that held the powers to all of the world's unknown mysteries. He knew his son would like the new Lamborghini Murcielago he got him for his birthday, but he knew he'd love cake and ice cream even more. This dad was determined to make all his child's dreams come true. Dad stayed up all day in his secret underground laboratory, creating the bloodiest bright red cake and ice cream ever imagined. Orion, the Countess of Wessex, said, "I flew to the mountains and I found Count Crybaby the perfect gift for his birthday." Intrigued, Dad replied, "Really? And what is that?" The Countess replied, "You know why he cries, right? It's simple. The boy just needs some cake. I got a stalk of yucca. It's the missing ingredient. You almost made something remarkable again, Duke." Dad said, "You're simply the best. It's taken us many years to think of the perfect gift for his birthday." "Think he will like the Lambo?" "Not as much as the cake and ice cream," the powerful Parrot replied. During the night, Dad even created a brand to disguise the fact that it was cake and ice cream for vampire kids. He called it fattening fertilizer. It was pretty inventive. The bloody ice cream cake even had a label that made it look like fertilizer to make plant roots grow stronger. The label read, "It's your plant's birthday. It was just born. Feed it bloody birthday cake." The things a father will do for his child. He got his son a Lambo, cake, and bloody ice cream. Count Crybaby's 1000th birthday party was going to be a success. He had it all planned. He was going to drive the Lamborghini Murcielago to his son's school. In front of all of his friends, he was going to toss the keys to his son and wish him a happy birthday. Then he was going to take him to the lab to show him his real birthday present. It would be their first time eating something other than blood. The Duke headed to the Count's school to pick up Count Crybaby and his new birthday present. To show his son it was a gift for him, he had tied a big black bow to the car. It looked sweet. Orion the Countess replied, "The Lamborghini Murcielago has a gray base coat and is powered by a color-changing mechanism that changes the car's color to the driver's mood. It is powered by a 640 horsepower, 6.5-liter V12, sending power to all four wheels through a 6-speed E-gear transmission, 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, and a top speed of 211 miles per hour. Count Crybaby is going to like it almost as much as the ice cream and cake." As Dad revved the Lambo when his son came outside, he knew his son's life was about to change. This was a chance for his son to have a bright new start. Dad jumped out of the driver's seat and tossed his son the color-changing smart key fob. Count Crybaby, trying to hold back tears, managed to smile instead. He really wanted something else for his birthday, but a Lambo was a pretty good birthday gift for a 1,000-year-old birthday boy. "See you guys later at my party," the Count said to his friends as he caught the fob. He changed the color from dark gray to blue, pink, red, gray, white, and then to black to match his bow. Not expecting the supercar, he was delighted. Quickly jumping behind the driver's seat to impress his friends, he stepped on the gas. The car turned to dark blue to match his mood, and they took off. Count Crybaby was happy, but had the blues. He really wanted cake, boo. "So I have somewhere special to take you before we go home. The Countess of Wessex and I prepared the perfect gift for you," the doting dad told his son. "Are we going to your bat cave?" the son asked, laughing. He knew the path. He knew exactly where they were going. He got the Lambo up to top speed as they raced crazily right toward a cliff. The boy drove his supercar right across the water and into the cliff under a waterfall. It looked as if they were two madmen about to crash into a giant stone mountainside. Suddenly, as if they were going through a portal, they pulled right into the perfect underground parking place. Count Crybaby saw a giant birthday cake centered in the laboratory. Could it be? Count Crybaby thought to himself. He looked at his dad. Dad had a fork, spoon, and a rather sharp knife in his hands. "I didn't know which to get for a cake and ice cream," Dad said, offering a utensil to his son. Not knowing what would be best for eating cake and ice cream, Count Crybaby grabbed all three. He ran to the cake and saw there was ice cream too. Then he noticed an assortment of chocolates and candy. He looked like a kid who hadn't been in a candy store for 1,000 years. Oh, wait. He was a kid who hadn't been in a candy store for 1,000 years. He looked at the brand and label on the cake and chuckled. Orion, the Countess of Wessex, rested contently on her perch. Dad was happy. And Count Crybaby's birthday dream was complete. As they ate cake together, They discussed distribution options and made a business plan to get the bloody desserts out there. Count Crybaby was happy, knowing all the vampire boys and girls in all the universes would have cake and ice cream on their birthdays now too. Alright guys, that was Count Crybaby. Thanks for listening to me read this story. You can read my books at amazon.com/author/Jamie Skeie. Have a good day. Crybaby was a good vampire. Oh, he just felt sad. So sad when you're a vampire and you haven't ate ice cream for 1,000 years. I would be sad too. Okay, anyway. All right, here we go. So he was really sad.